What's up guys, haven't done a video in a long time, so my buddy Bruce's birthday is actually today. I've been working on this for about a week. I just finished it a few hours ahead of time, so I'm making him a straight razor. So I built this cool little box. Got a magnetic lid, and basically this is what I'll be making. So it's a straight razor, it's the first time I ever built one. Turned out pretty cool. Anyway, so here's the videos.
So the first thing I did is mocked it up in Fusion, and I'm going to freehand most of it on the grinder, but I just wanted to make sure the thing was going to function properly and be roughly the right size.
So I'll come back here to my material storage, see what I have. The only thing I have on stock, I'm not going to have any time to order it, is some blade steel, some 35 VN stainless steel. This stuff will be pretty ideal, I think, maybe even overkill for this. Also found a chunk of this, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
So I created a drawing in Fusion and printed it out. Then just used a little spray adhesive to attach the template.
So I'm glad the high-speed steel drill bit worked. I wasn't sure if it was going to. I like to use carbide usually when I drill stainless steel. But it seemed to work good. Now I'm just going to cut it out with this Milwaukee Portaband. This thing with this little stand from Swag is really awesome for cutting steel. Not so good. I think I need a new blade.
Well, that blade died pretty quick.
Okay, so I just drilled a little hole and those popped apart, but my belt is gone. I'm not gonna go buy another one right now. And I got a lot of stock to remove. I wanted to cut it all out close. So I think we're gonna go for the big guns. All right, I got the 36 grit belt on here. This is a Cubitron ceramic belt.
These ceramic belts just eat away metal pretty quickly. Just kind of cutting away all these contours.
Okay, got that roughed out. Switch to a finer belt and get a little more detailed.
Now just switching grinding attachments to get to my smaller wheels for some of these contours, curves.
Okay, 120.
One of the keys to a straight razor is you need to be able to hone it. And to do that, you got to lay it down on a honing stone. And the geometry has to work out perfectly. So I'm shooting for a 17-degree bevel. So in order to get that, you have to lay it down on a honing stone, and it has to make contact basically right here and right here. Since I have limited stock, the width of what I'm using dictates how tall the razor can be. So my grind line is going to go up to about there, and that's going to give me the proper angle so that when I lay it flat down on the stone, that area makes contact. So the next topic is what type of grind. So there's hollow grinds, wedges, all types of different grinds, all have pros and cons. I'm going to do a hollow grind. I've never done a hollow grind, and I'm kind of limited by what I have. I've got a 10-inch contact wheel. So this circle represents the actual wheel, and this is our stock right here. And what I want to do is, this is where our grind has to stop, and this is where it has to end, or it has to begin. And again, that's due to being able to hone it, laying it flat. So we got to find a spot on the contact wheel that's going to give us, it's going to start here and it's got to end a little bit before the actual real bevel. So it's going to be somewhere in here, like somewhere in this range here. So you see it's going to leave us a little bit for the actual bevel, and it's going to stop right at that point. And again, I'm just doing that freehand, so this is just kind of an indication of how much higher the wheel has to be. Now I just need to mark where the center of the grind is going to go, so I make sure that the blade is centered. I'm also marking the tang. I don't think I'm going to do a tapered tang on it, but just in case I want to, I'm just marking it. So once you start grinding, you can't find the center again.
Yeah, I got my line scribed. I'm just gonna wing it. I see people putting a little jig here. I got my line scribed, I'm just gonna wing it.
I've never hollow ground before. This is the first time I ever tried using this contact wheel, so I wasn't really sure how it was going to turn out. So basically I'm just, keep going each side back and forth, and I'm just moving that line up to where it needs to go, just higher up on the blade.
Just working it up to that line. You can see the two different hollow grinds. I just need to blend that. Just moving it up. Messed up my plunge line a little bit though. Don't Scotch-Brite your finger.
Okay, I think this is going to be pretty good for preheat grinding. You need to leave a little meat on there so it doesn't warp during heat treat. So now I'm just sealing it up in a stainless steel bag. So I'm basically just folding this up, and then I'm going to bend the edges over and hammer them down and try to create as airtight of a little hot pocket as I can. And this is going to prevent oxidation from happening during a heat treat. It's going to make it a lot easier to clean up. So now do a little preheat, and then we're going to soak it at almost 2,000 degrees, and it's all ready to pull out. Once you pull it out, got to quench it really quickly. Going to use plates, aluminum plates, to quench it. And this both helps cool it off really quick, suck the heat out, and it keeps it straight.
Okay, it's cooled off.
So you can see how black that stainless steel wrap got. That's what the blade would look like. But as you can see, since it's sealed up there and oxygen can't get to it, well, mostly a little bit on the tip got to it, but it keeps it all pretty clean.
Now just back in for a temper at 400 degrees for a couple hours.
Alright, now back to final grinding, and this is just like before, using the 10-inch contact wheels. Just going to grind it down to its final size. Gotta be really careful not to overheat the blade because it'll lose its heat treat. So I pretty much just, if it feels warm at all to my hands, I'll stop and cool it off. But I'm going to step up to one of these Trizac belts. This is just a much finer belt, and it leaves a pretty good finish. So this is probably going to be the last grinding step here. Okay, so now on to honing. So I got a bunch of honing stones, a bunch of various different grits, and I'm going to try to put a bevel on this thing. The first thing I do is flatten all the stones. Got to make sure they're all lapped flat. So now I'm taking a little electrical tape and I'm putting 2 layers of electrical tape on the spine. And this does a couple things. One, it kind of protects it from getting all scratched up. And 2, based on my blade thickness, this is going to give me a little bit more of an angle on my primary bevel. So I'll start with a 220. This took me forever. If you know of a better way, maybe like a diamond stone or something to get your first bevel, let me know in the comments. It would help a lot.
Now I move up to the 1000 grit Norton. Time to move up to the 8000. So I had to kind of start the process over again. I didn't get it to a fine point, so I went all the way back down to the lowest grit. And I also found that it seems like doing it 2 hands, pulling it straight towards you, pushing it straight away, for me, works the best. With the low grits, I put a little more pressure on it, and once I start moving up to the higher grits, I barely put any pressure at all, barely just a weight. 12,000.
These are all really good honing stones. I'll put the link in the description of where to get them.
Okay, got it ready. Let's take the tape off and strop it.
Now you have to strop a knife or any blades or razors like this because the sharpening leaves like a little hair edge which you have to basically get off, and that's what stropping does. So I did about 20-30 strokes on the canvas and then about 40 on the leather side. And that's just laying it flat. Let's do a little test. Pop the hair right off. So it seems pretty good.
All right, everybody, thanks for watching. That wraps up the razor part of it. Next video is gonna have the handle and a little decorative box. So subscribe if you haven't. You can also follow me on Instagram at S2Jesse. I post on there a lot more. See you next video.